everyone, today I'm going to be doing this tutorial on how to make this Apple Magic keyboard, and as I said in my last one, we are going to do the whole, all the symbols for the top row. So first, if you notice, we have the escape key of the F1s, and this key right here, and more Fs. So some of these have symbols like F9 and has this forward button or brightness up and so on. So we are going to create sketch, and I want you to do it on this plane, so you can click on the escape key or any key really, because that's all we need. I don't want you to click on this part right here. I want you to click on any key. So if you're wondering how do we make text, you have to go to create and go all the way down to where it says text. So you can choose the text box where it's supposed to be placed, but I'm just going to do the whole key. And let me see here. But I want to get very detailed and make sure it's in the bottom. So if you see here, it says alignment. You're going to say align bottom and align left. The height is this pretty much the size, and it's too big, so ours are going to be 0.5 or smaller. So once that is all good, you can press OK. You can minus the sketch palette and move it, and now we already have our first key. That's what we're going to be doing for all these keys. So this is an easier way I found on how to do all these at once instead of doing them individually. We're going to go under create and do text. And we're going to click from this corner right here, zoom out and stretch it all the way to here. So it should be at the F12 key now. So I'll show you what I mean. We have to do F1, and as I said before, I want it to have a detail, be accurate, so I'm going to move it to the center by putting a few spaces. Then we're going to do lots more. If it's too far or too close, you have to make sure you put enough spaces. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm just going to put spaces and do that. Also, if you go here and run out of room, please do not enter, because if you enter, it'll do that, and that's not what you want. You just have to keep typing. Like on Word, it'll just automatically go to the next line for you. So I am just going to finish all of this up, and then I'll meet you back when I have all the other keys up to F12 done. Okay, so I am back and I finished my F keys from F1 to F12. If you notice, my text box wasn't here anymore. I pressed the OK button, and now we're good. So instead of doing the symbols at the top, we're going to finish the rest of the letters. So we're going to do F13 to F19. So we're going to go to create and do text. I prefer you guys do the bottom half, and you can do this either way. You can make your text box go all the way to F15 and do a separate one for F16 through F19, or make one all together. I'm going to make one all together since that's just easier for me. And it's just going to be like last time. So we just have to put spaces in between them. I'll be back once I finish up to F19. So once you're done with that, you can press the OK button, I also forgot to mention that for both of these, the alignment should be left and it should be aligned bottom. So once all that's good, make sure the height's 0.5 centimeters. And once all that's good, you can press OK. So now we have it. So there are a few symbols we have to do, like for F1, F2, F3, F4, F7 through F12, and this key right here. I'm going to start with this key, and I'm just going to be using lines. And to be honest, this key is pretty small, so I'm just going to scale it up a bit. Then I use lines to make this triangle, and then I'm going to use a 2-point rectangle for that. So you can choose how much length you want. I think 0.07 is good. So now it's like that. Also, don't worry if it has a dimension line, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to go all the way to F1. And the way I did this one was I used a center diameter circle and extruded it or expanded it. Then I just kept doing circles. It doesn't matter if they're correct or anything. I'm just trying different sizes. I think 0.8 or 0.09 is good. So once you're done with that, it should look something like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, not all my diameter circles are the same. So now since we're done with that symbol, we're going to go on to this one and do a circle. I'm doing it a bit bigger because sometimes it's not visible. And for this, I did 2-point rectangles, or you can do ellipses. I'm going to do 2-point rectangles. If you can't do this quite right, that is alright. You can just do these ones first. I'm making my third rectangle right here. Fourth rectangle. And I usually like doing lines for these kind of ones, like the diagonal ones. It doesn't have to be perfect, I can just clean this up later. You can always zoom in and zoom out if you need to. And that looks good. Also, you might be wondering when we're going to extrude all these sketches. In the very last part, we're going to extrude all of them. So just keep that in mind, we're not going to extrude. We're just going to make sketches. For F3, you can just do 2-point rectangles. Just try to make them accurate as you possibly can. Now we can do these ones again, 2-point rectangles. And it's like that. So we did the F1 to F4 keys. F5 and F6 have nothing. And then here, this is the go back sign if you are in a video. Forward back, I think it's called. And we can just trace around and do the triangles. Now we have the pause and the pause key. And for this one, you can just do 2-point rectangles and do that. So now F8 is complete. For the F9 key, it's basically just the F7 key except turned. So we're just going to go to solid, move our copy, and highlight the sketch bodies, create copy, then turn it so it's negative 180 degrees, then move it. So once that's good, you can press OK and it'll appear. So now we have the F10, F11, and F12 keys, and they are no sound, little sound, or a lot of sound. So increase, decrease, and no sound at all. You can just use the lines to trace them. And now I did this one very quickly, and you might take some time, but this, we're going to copy and paste it. But if you need to catch up anywhere, you can pause the video right now, and I'm giving you some time. Alright, we're going to go to solid, move our copy, and we're going to move our copy this sketch body. And we're going to move and copy again. And that's good. So F10 key is basically complete, and there's a one curve here. So we're going to go back to sketch. I'm just simply trying to make a curve that we can extrude. And either you can copy and paste this here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to redo it all over. If you don't want to use a split line, use a 3-point curve instead. That is completely fine. Both of them pretty much do the same thing. I just said right now that we have to extrude these, but I'm just making curves so I can just simply copy them. I'm just simply trying to replicate them right here. And then I'm going to fill them up. What I mean by that is connect all the lines. So I just connected one curve, then the second curve, and then the third curve. So now we should be done with everything. That's all we're going to be doing for this video. In our next one, we are going to be probably doing the second row, and if we have time, the third row as well. And just to keep in mind, on the very last part, we're going to extrude all of them. So for the next few videos, we're only going to be making sketches. That is it for this video, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.